Hi friends, welcome back. Today we are going to solve LeetCode problem 802, find eventual safe states. Before we go through the problem description and some examples, I just want to mention that my channel is dedicated to help people preparing for coding interviews as well as Java interviews. On my channel there are more than 200 solved examples which were previously asked coding interview questions by big tech companies like Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Yahoo and many others. And those problems are handpicked problems to constitute different varieties such as dynamic programming, linked list problems, graph problems, binary search trees, binary search related problems, string based like related interview questions, BFS, DFS and matrix related problems. So if you are looking for like preparing for interviews or Java interviews or coding interviews, then please subscribe to my channel. This channel will definitely be able to help you in your job interview preparation. So please subscribe. So let's go through the problem statement. There is a directed graph of n nodes with each node labeled from 0 to n minus 1. The graph is represented by 0 index 2D integer array graph where graph of I is an integer array of nodes adjacent to node I, meaning there is an edge from node I to each node in graph I. A node is a terminal node if there are no outgoing edges, right? So for example, in this graph, as you can see, 5 and 6, these are terminal nodes, right? There are no outgoing edges from 5 and 6. A node is a safe node if every possible path starting from that node leads to a terminal node. So return an array containing all safe nodes of the graph. The answer should be sorted in ascending order. So we have to find out all the safe nodes. So safe node is, for example, in this graph, 4 to 5 you can go, and that is the only outgoing path, and we are reaching 5 which is a terminal node, right? So 4 is a safe node basically. So we have to find out all the safe nodes in this given graph, and then we have to return that in the ascending order. So the constraints, if you look at it, then graph length is n and n is between 1 to 10 raised to 4, so it's a very big number, and graph I dot length is between 0 to n, and graph ij is also between 0 to n minus 1. Graph I is sorted in strictly increasing order. Graph may contain self loops, so you will have a self loop also in the graph. You can have the number of edges in the graph will be in the range 1 to 4 into 10 raised to 4, so that is also a very big number. So let's look into this one, like example one here, and we will go through this example, and we will formulate how we are going to solve this problem. So as you can see, this first thing is we have to identify. First we will go through this given graph, right? This is the given graph, right? And we will, whatever empty we are seeing, right, these empty things, it means that there are no edges basically which are outgoing from these nodes. So this is 5 and 6 node, right? So these are the terminal nodes. So we will identify first the terminal nodes here, right? 5 and 6 are terminal nodes, and then we will go from 0 to all 0 to 6, right? And we will try to find out if all the paths from that node they are reaching to a terminal node, right? If they all the paths are reaching to the terminal node, then it means that those are the safe nodes basically. So for example, now if let's say we are so we will be using a DFS, right, to solve this problem. So we will use DFS, which is depth first search or depth first traversal of graph. So first, let's say we start at looking at 0, right? So we will find out a path from 0 to 1, and from 1 to 2, right? And from 2 to 5. So 2 to 5, we will also maintain one map that we will use, to memorize the results, right? Because we will use memoization here. Because if we have already solved a problem for one node, then we don't want to resolve it again, right? So we will just store our results in a memo map. So this is a memo map here. So for example, when we are going from 0 to 1 and 1 to 2, right? Then 2 will go to 5, right? As you can see, 2 has a edge to 5. So we will basically, we know that from this edge we can understand that 2 is a safe node, right? Because 2 has only one outgoing path and it is ending in a terminal node. So we will just put into our memo map that 2 for true, for 2 the results is true, right? For 2 the results is true. So we will just we will just memorize this result using the memoization. And so we have not already looked into all paths. So from 1 we went to 2, but there is another path here which is going to 3 from 1, right? So and from 3, if you look, the path is going from 3 to 0 again, right? So which means that we will keep the nodes that we have visited, right? We using a set, right? Visited set we will use. And in this set, first we started, let's just go from the beginning here. So first we started with 0, right? So we visited 0, then we went from 0 to 1, then we will just keep adding here, right? So 0, then 1, then from 1 to 2 we went, so 2 also we visited, and after 2 we visited 5, so 5 also will be there. Now in this path from 1 to 3 we visited 3 also, right? And from 3 again there is a path which is going to 0, right? You can see this path. So we are visiting 0. So now we know that we are visiting a node that we previously have already visited, right? So there is a cycle basically, as you can see. So we can go from 0 to 1, 1 to 3, and 3 to 0 again. So there is a cycle, which means that this path is not going to lead to safe state, right? Because it is again we are finding a cycle and it is again leading to the same node basically, which is not a safe node, right? Or which is not a terminal node basically, right? So which means that 0 is not the node which is ending into safe states basically, right? So similarly, so I'll just backtrack, or I can just copy this and I can create I can show you again here. So let me just put it again here. Uh, so this is our graph, right? So as you can see, so we just saw that for 0 node we saw, right? 0 to 1 we can go, from 1 to 3 we can go, and from 3 to 0 we can go basically, right? So we are going back to the 0, and which means that we have a cycle, and this cycle means that it is not a safe node, right? So now during this I also explain you about the node 2, right? So 2 we can go from 2 to 5, right? So this is the only one outgoing path for 2, and this path is also ending in a terminal node basically. So 2 is a safe node, right? So this is how we can understand 2 is a safe node. Also if we look at 1, right? So from 1 we can go to 3, and from 3 we can go to 0, and from 0 we can again go to 1, right? So 1 is not a safe node. So this is not a safe node. This is also not a safe node. This is a safe node because 2 to 5 directly we can go. 3 is also not a safe node, right? Because 3 to 1, 3 to 0 we can go, from 0 to 1 and again 1 to 3, right? So it's a cycle, and which means that we have a path which is not ending in a terminal state basically, right? So it's not a safe node. 4 is also a safe node, right? Because 4 to 5 there is a edge, and 5 is a terminal node, right? And 5 and 6 are also safe nodes, because anyway those two are terminal nodes, right? So we can count them as a safe node. So total safe nodes in this example are 2, 4, 5 and 6, right? So these four nodes are safe nodes because they are ending in a terminal nodes, right? 2 is also ending in terminal node 5. 4 is also ending in terminal node 5. 5 itself is a terminal node. It does not have any outgoing edge, so it is a safe node. 6 is also a terminal node, so it does not have any outgoing edge, so it is a safe node, right? So we will count it as a safe node. So this is what we have to return. So we will solve this problem using DFS. So we will also use memoization. So map, we will use map to store our results. So we can reuse them, right? So uh, for example, in the beginning we have seen that 0 to 1, 1 to 3, and 3 to 0, right? So we know that now 0 for 0, it is not a safe node, right? So this is a false, right? 0 is false. So now if we are looking from 3, right? Now if we go from 3 to 0, basically we can check into our map. So from 0 we already know that it's false, right? So basically it means that from 3 also it is false, so we don't have to again recheck the path from 0, right? Because we already have stored it into a map basically. So that is the use of memoization. It improves the performance, and it also helps us to avoid any time limit exceptions or errors, right? So it is important to have memoization in graph problems, because as the constraint, as you have seen here, the n is very big number, 10 raised to 4. So if we don't use memoization, it will time out, right? So we have to use memoization when we are using DFS. So let us just look into the implementation. So first, I just created a memoization map. So it is a integer comma boolean, right? As I said here. So integer is the node 0, and the result for that no, it's true or false we are storing here, right? So for example, 0 we have stored false. So for node 2 we will store true here, right? For node 2 we will store true here, because from 2 we can end up to 5. 5 is a terminal node. So that is the use of this memoization map. So first thing is we will go through the graph that is given to us, this 2D graph, and we will put into memoization if the length of that node is 0, right? For example, these two, right? These two has length 0. So those are terminal nodes. So we will put that into our memoization map, right? So this basically memoization map, we will put 5 and 6 as true, right? That's what it means basically. So we will put that into our memoization map as a true, right? Because uh, the terminal node is automatically a safe node. That's what it means. So after that we will again go through the graph, and we will apply DFS on each node now, right? So we are passing the I as the node, we are passing our graph, right? That is given to us, the 2D array. Then we are passing the hash set, right? Because as I was explaining, this visited, we want to keep track of what nodes we have visited during the DFS, right? So for that we have used the hash set, and then we are passing the memoization map also here, right? So uh, we will go through the DFS function, but before that, whatever result we get from the DFS, we will again put that into our memoization map, right? For that ith node here, right? So we don't want to recalculate that. And here I just put system out to show you the trace of how the DFS will work. We will remove that later. And after the memoization is done, the complete DFS and memoization is done, the memoization map will contain all these four nodes, right? As I said, 2 4 5 6, it will contain 2 4 5 6, right? Because we will store all the nodes into the result, but we only will get from this memoization map, and then we have to add our result, right? This 2 4 5 6, we have to add it into the list basically, right? This list we have to return, because the function returns list of integer, right? So that is the thing. And now we will look into our DFS function, right? So this should be private actually, private. So this will return boolean whether it is leading to safe node or not, right? And here we are passing the current node, we are passing graph, we are passing visited hash set, and we are passing memoization map, right? And first thing is we want to check if we already have looked into that node and we have it available into our memoization map, right? Because we don't, if we already looked into the node, we don't want to revisit again, right? If we already have looked into that node, so we will first check that here in the memoization map. Otherwise we will check if we have already visited that node, then we will just simply return false, right? Because it means that we are seeing cycle, right? As I explained here, it means that we are seeing cycle, right? 0 0, we already visited 0, again we are revisiting 0, so we are seeing a cycle, so we have to return false here. Otherwise, if that is not the case, we will just add the current node into the visited set here, and then we will go through the graph, right? Because we have to go through each of the edges, right, to find out the paths basically. So we will do DFS on each path here, right, and then we will pass the current I, which is neighboring I, right, graph visited and memoization map. So what I mean to say is, in this map, right, if we are starting with the 0, let's say, then we will go to the first its neighbor, right, this edge, whatever edges are there, right, we will go one by one. So we will go to 1. After 1 we will go to the edges of 1, right? So there are two edges, which is one is 2 and one is 3, right? So once we go to 2, we will go to the edges of 2 like this basically, and after 2 is done, we will go and check the 3 basically, right? 3 is again eventually leading to 0. So this is how the DFS work, right? So we are checking all the paths basically which are starting from 0. That's what we are doing, right? So here we are checking all the paths which are starting from 0 and doing DFS on those nodes as well now. So we will do DFS on 1, we will do DFS on 2, we will do DFS on 3, because they are gradually coming in the path traversal, right? So that's what we are doing. And so we are recursively calling our DFS function here, right? And then we are getting this flag, and if flag is true, we will just put it into our memoization. So memoization map is used to basically find out like all the, we are storing safe nodes here basically, right, in memoization map. Otherwise we will return false. If the flag is false, it is false basically, right? And after we come out of this for loop, we want to remove the current node that we have visited, because this is basically backtracking, right? And we should return true basically, right? So this is how the DFS works. So so as I said, I'll just let me just take this out so I can re-explain it to you again. So basically, how the DFS works is, when we start from 0, we want to find out all the paths from 0 basically, right? So first thing is we will go to 0 to 1, right? So from 1 there are two outgoing paths, so we have to cover both, right? So now basically once we are at 1, we will do again DFS at 1, right? So DFS at 1 means it will go to 2, and then it will go to 3 also, right, after that, and 2 will go to 5, and 3 will go to 0 basically. So this is the DFS, right? DFS, depth first search or depth first traversal of the graph. And whenever we, for example, during this traversal we see from 2 to 5, right? So we know that for 2 is a safe node because it is ending into a terminal node and there is only one outgoing edge. So we will store that information also along the way, right, into the memoization map. So that is what the recursive function will do. As you can see, whenever we get a recursive functions result, we always store it into memoization map if it is true, right? Means whenever we find out a safe node, we will always store that into memoization map, because when we come back into the DFS again for the next nodes here, right? So in the for, we will start with 0, right? Then again we will go to 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Then in that case, if we have already seen a node and it is a safe node, right, then we don't want to redo the whole again DFS thing, right? So we are using a memoization map for that reason. That is the, I think, complete explanation of how the graph DFS works with this example. So so let's just revisit this, revise this, summarize this code. So we have created a memoization map, then we have gone through all the edges, and if there are no edges, we just will store that, because for example 5 and 6 there are no edges, outgoing edges, so those are the safe nodes. So we will store that in memoization map, and then we will again start looping through the graph, right? Looping through this graph basically, and then apply the DFS on the graph from I is equal to 0, right? Means from 0 we will start doing DFS, and we will start the storing the result into memoization map, right? And at the end we will just use memoization map to create the list from the map, right? And in the DFS we first check if it is in the memoization map, if the entry is available, then we will just use it from that. Otherwise we will check if we already have visited that node, right? It means that it is a cycle, so we will return false. Otherwise we will add that node into the visited set, and we will start doing DFS with the remaining neighboring nodes, right, wherever the edge is possible. From, for example, 0 to 1, then from 1 to 2, and 1 to 3, right, and from 2 to 5. So all this thing we will do DFS actually in this loop, right? And we will store the memoization result into the map, and at the end we have to remove the current node from the visited entry, right? It is a backtracking, right? So it can be reused basically by other nodes, right? And at the entry we will return true basically, right? Which means that when we are returning true, it means that this DFS resulted into a safe node basically. For example, when we are doing from 2 to 5, we will return true. So it means that DFS from 2 is a true basically, right? Because it's a safe node. So let's go ahead and let's take this example. We'll just quickly run this thing, like it's the same graph that we have discussed. So as you can see here, 2 4 5 6 we are getting correct answer, and this is the trace. I just wanted to show you how the DFS works. So 0 to 1, right, and 1 to 2, then 2 to 5 it went, right, and then 1 to 3 it went, right. So this is 1 to 3 basically, and from 3 to 0 it goes here, 3 to 0. So we are revisiting 0, so it's a cycle, right? So we just make this 0, done checking, and it's a cycle. Similarly for 1, it will go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, right, 1 to 2, and uh, 1 to 3 also, right, 1 to 3, and 3 to 0 it goes, right. And once it is 0, 0 is already false, we know, because of the memoization map. So we will just make 1 also as a false, right? So similarly this DFS works. So as you can see, other entries are there. So checking 2 already we have checked when we were doing the DFS for 0. So we will immediately find that into the map, and we will just use that from the map itself, right? So that is how the solution works. So let us take one other example uh, here. So in this example, our 4 is going to 5 and 5 is going to 6 here, right? And there is 7 and 8 basically. So what I meant is, in this new graph is, it is almost like this, but now what we did is, um, from 5 is going to 6. So now let's just let me just draw this. So 5 is going to 6 now, and there is another node 7 here, right? And 7 is terminal node, so it's not going anywhere. And 8 is also there, right? 6, then 7, and then 8. So 8 is also a terminal node. So 4, right? 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right? So 6 7 are terminal nodes here, 6 7 are terminal nodes. And then this 4 is going to 5, and 5 is 0 1 2 3, 4 is going to 5, and 5 is going to 6, 4 is going to 5, 5 is going to 6, and 7 is terminal node. So there is no 8 node. So this is how the graph look like, right? So let's just run this one. So on this graph you can see 2 4 5 6 and 7, right? Because now 5 is also ending in 6, so in terminal node. So we will consider 5 6, and 7 is also a terminal node here, right? So it will be 2 4 5 6, right? 2 4 5 6 7 basically, 5 6 7. So all these are safe nodes basically, right? And why 5 is safe node? Because 5 is also ending, it has only one edge, and it is ending in a terminal node, right? That's why it is safe node. So we are getting correct result. So we have seen two examples. So we can just remove the system outs before we can just submit our solution. So this one is one, and this one is the other one. So we will just run all these examples, two examples that are given, and then we will submit our code. So basically this is a graph DFS traversal problem. So we can use DFS and memoization. So to solve this problem. So memoization is must here, otherwise you will get time limit exceeded exception, right? Because if you keep calculating the results that you previously calculated, then it is kind of a timing out, right? So always use memoization here, like this, using a map when you are solving a craft DFS or tree DFS problem. um, if you haven't already gone through the playlist of my channel for LeetCode and LeetCode solution, please go through it now. It has over 200 solved examples taken from previously asked coding questions by big tech companies like Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Yahoo, and many others. And those problems were handpicked problems to have it like variety that are very important on coding interview perspective, such as dynamic programming, graph problems, binary search tree problems, binary search related coding interview questions, string problems, linked list related interview questions, and logical and optimization problems as well. As well as there is another playlist called as Java interview that focuses on frequently asked telephonic Java interview questions and how to answer those questions. So please go through that playlist. If you like this video and if you find this solution helpful, please hit like and subscribe it. Your subscription is really important to us because that is the way the video can reach to more people. They can also watch this video, and they can also get benefited by these solved examples, and they will know how to solve those coding questions. So please subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching this video.